give the floor to the distinguished representative of Sri Lanka. Ambassador, you have the floor.
Thank you for giving me the floor, Mr. Vice President. Sri Lanka aligns itself with the statement delivered by the distinguished delegate from Pakistan on behalf of the Group of 77 in China. We welcome the inclusion of the specific reference to the frameworks for a peaceful world, promoting peace, international law, and digital cooperation under Cluster 3 of the OCA report. I would like to present the following 3 salient points to which Sri Lanka accords the highest priority. Let me first turn to racism, intolerance, and discrimination. Mr. Vice President, we observe that millions of human beings continue to be victims of racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, and related intolerance, including their contemporary forms in today's world. While calling for the successful implementation of the Durban Declaration and Programme of Action, it is our firm belief that political will, international cooperation, and adequate funding at the national, regional, and international levels are needed to address all forms and manifestations of racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, and related intolerance. Sri Lanka considers national security as the prime focus of the nation and under no circumstances will tolerate activities inspired by and leading to violent extremism. Our government is committed to the protection of all its citizens without any discrimination under the international human rights law. Mr. Vice President, let me say a word of the Universal Periodic Review mechanism. Sri Lanka supports for an impartial, objective, non-political, and non-selective mechanism to review human rights of all countries without any distinction or discrimination. Sri Lanka further wishes to seek detailed information on the proposal to review the modalities of the Universal Periodic Review as part of the new guidelines. In the context of the recovery from the pandemic, Sri Lanka believes that vaccine equity plays a pivotal role in all such recovery efforts. Having realized early that the only solution to control COVID-19 was vaccination, Sri Lanka has been able to provide both vaccine doses to over 85% of the targeted population, control the disease, and resume normal community life. By now, all vaccine doses required to administer the booster to the people have been imported to Sri Lanka. However, Sri Lanka shares the view that there is an urgent need to prevent, monitor, and address the disproportionate effects of the pandemic on older persons. Let me say a quick word on the Digital Compact. Sri Lanka takes note with appreciation of the recommendations contained in the report relating to digital cooperation as an integral requirement to achieve the 2030 agenda. The COVID-19 pandemic has accelerated the world's digitalization as digital technologies have become an enabler to facilitate business continuity, enable continued learning, and connect people. Sri Lanka's national policy framework, Vistas of Prosperity and Splendor, have designated building a technology-based society as a significant national initiative in creating a smart society, strategizing on establishing Sri Lanka as a global innovation hub, establishing digital government and digital inclusiveness, and promoting IT entrepreneurship. In conclusion, Sri Lanka remains committed to engaging in the process of ensuring a peaceful world by promoting peace, international law, and digital cooperation. I thank you, Mr. Vice President.
I thank the representative of Sri Lanka for his intervention, and I now give the floor